you're going to increase the time he is in the hallway.
No, I'm not, because we have passing
Yes,
period.
you would, because but I'll be stuck scrambling through my locker for like
And then
10
he has to
minutes.
come back here anyway.
Yeah, and then I have to come back.
Then
here
maybe
and
you
then go
won't get in
basketball
trouble
and then
during
go to
passing
class.
period.
Yeah, but it's just a waste of time.
What did you do yesterday?
See, I could use class period time to get
You
related to math.
Yeah, well, nobody
It's
else is in the
format.
hallway too.
Exactly.
Therefore,
It only takes me like 30 seconds.
but
If I can do it in less than 10 seconds.
Well, that would mean your wall locker is open right now, which means that Mr. C needs to do one of his classic Friday nights, walk through the entire school and go turn.
You did that to me, and I like.
I've done it at least 3 times this year.
Please don't.
Well, then why don't you guys lock your lockers?
Because what's the point of it? They're going to steal my notebooks.
I'm trying to reduce.
They're just the smart kids.
If I don't make it back in 15 seconds.
No, we're not
You can give
doing
me
that.
attention.
No.
I'm trying to
You can expel them.
Yeah, you can suspend me.
All right,
This is so stupid.
let's do something productive. All right, hush.
I don't lock my lockers. I'm trying to reduce the amount of time I'm in the hallway. It's terrible.
I love being hit by every
If
kid
it's
walking
terrible in the
by.
hallway, how come you're always in the hallway?
They have to
Because
be.
I have to be.
You could be in your classroom.
I try
You have
to
to
get
get our stuff
all the
eventually.
kids. They sit there. All the 7th
I'm
graders
gonna-
sit and
I'm gonna record. Oh, I should have hit the record button.
There
Play
was
that back to you every day.
kids that I was walking behind, and then they all just stop, turn to face each other, and start talking.
Yes,
So right in the middle of the hallway.
This is why we should be allowed.
So
to get
next
social.
year, guess what
You
happens?
should be allowed.
It's
to
even worse.
No, it's less worse.
We should be
We
allowed
don't
to
have
get
any
social.
5th and 6th
Oh, it's
graders.
not the 5th and 6th
anymore.
graders. It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, but we're gonna be more spread out.
Yeah, I mean.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
They'll find it. They'll find it. All right.
And the girls are especially fat because they'll stop and go hug.
Well,
each
yeah,
other.
they've got to hide
And
the
they
teacher
start
somehow.
talking and say, "Get out of the way."
Do we really only have one girl in here now?
Yeah.
I just noticed that. All right. We don't have one girl in the class, just one girl here right now. All right.
Why do you have to sit there?
All right, hush. We wasted enough time, and it is a Friday, so we even have less time to waste.
Let's just waste all the time.
No, we're not doing that. Questions on the homework, which was a worksheet, which we did. How many of them in class? We did all of them in class. No, I thought we had a couple left over.
Yeah, I did 14 and 17.
Yeah, 14 and 17, which were just basically the same thing as the previous ones. You get the value for X, and then you got to throw that back in and answer a question of how long a segment is.
This? Yeah.
All right, this is what we're doing today. We'll talk about it when we get there. Don't worry about it. Good Lord, Matt. It's amazing that the only time I can get your attention was something strange happens, right?
Yes. Do you think aliens exist?
All right, back up here. So I will collect this. What we have going on, as I said before, the last, 3 or 4 days is, we don't need to do 2 days of review for this test. In fact, we're almost ready for the test right now. We just need to brush up on some stuff as a review of what we did the previous sections. But I just think it's bad policy to give a test on after a 3 or 4 day weekend. So I will have a second review day on Tuesday. I want to just have a quick, let's be honest, like no joking around. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Danny, how are we going to pass this test? Okay, tell me what that means, studying. I'm proud of you, Danny. That was a perfect answer. It absolutely means that. And what it generally means is in a nice, quiet environment. And it means just you and the piece of paper. If you sit there, now you don't have student advisement today, but you will on Monday or Tuesday. If you sit there and you think that you're studying and you literally have Matt right next to you talking in your ear, right?
That's Danny.
That isn't studying, right? Studying is unless it's one of those things where someone's like you're doing definitions and someone's saying what's the definition of circuitous or something like that. And what is the definition of circuitous? Circuitous.
What does that word mean? Circulation.
Point A, point B. If I want to go from point A to point B, or I take a circuitous route.
Sneaky snake route.
That's what we call it.
Circuitous. All right. Yeah, if you're doing like definitions, sometimes it does help to have a partner to study with. But for the most part, when you're studying things, it's a quiet environment, right? If you have problems with understanding that, then think about the tests that you've done the best on that you actually didn't know before you walked into the class. The ones that you had to quote, quote, study for. And just tell me when you were successful, what did you do? That, whatever that is, for some people, literally, it means you got earbuds in your ear and you're listening to music. It's not for me. I can't do that. But for other people claim that that's exactly what they need. Well, then that's what you need, right? When you go home and you study, you can't do it in school, but that's what you need. It also means that you honestly do the whole worksheet until you get to the point where like I could write the worksheet type thing. It just really pains me. I know I'm looking at Matt, but I can look at other people. It just really pains me that when I give you a test, you leave something blank and you say, I don't know what to do, when I hand you a practice test that is the test. It's not a joke. It is the test. The only difference between what I'm about to hand you and the test is instead of having 6 problems, I'll give you 2 problems on that one particular topic. So do the worksheet. And it also means, it's an open book test or open notebook test. So that if you want to put that whole practice test in your notes, absolutely. But when you do the problem, generally what I find most effective is that I try to, because I'm giving you the answers as well too, is you try to identify where did I go wrong? The ones you get right, those aren't the ones you got to study for. But the ones you get wrong, those are the ones that you need to have in your book somewhere to remind yourself, oh, last time I forgot to divide by 2 or whatever it was you forgot. That's how you do well on a test. And for people like Matt, who consistently don't do this, right? Let's just change this. We're not at the end of the 3rd quarter yet. We are past the halfway point, but we can change this. We got 2.5 more years of high school. We can all get the best grades possible and do whatever. And I'm going into 7th grade speech now, as I just gave it. We can all do what we want in life, but we got to work for these things. So please study. And then lastly, since we're doing 2 days of review, okay, today is a Friday, but we're going to start in class here in about 2 minutes. You got me to answer any questions. Like, I do not know how to do this. I've forgotten. Then you say, Mr. C, how do we do number 10? And I'll do it on the board. And if you want more, I can print off 4,000 worksheets if you'd like and email them to you or send them to you. Right? But you got to be part of the process of study. All right. So all we're doing today and all we're doing Tuesday is the same thing. I'm going to hand you a worksheet. It's going to be the same worksheet both days, just different numbers. And then on Wednesday, when we come in for the test, it's going to be the same thing, except like I said, instead of it being 6 of this one type problem, there'll be 1 or 2 of them. It'll be a regular test. This is a test you all can pass as long as you understand what's going. Seth, you're disturbing me. He's going like this in front of me. I'm trying to talk. Right? All right.
Wait, Mr. Shardy.
What?
So you said you can answer any question, right? Like
When
any
did I say
question.
that? Oh, on this, yeah, absolutely.
What's your credit card number?
On this, does the question state what's my credit card number?
What if we write that?
Your handwriting doesn't count, mine does. All right. So if you want to, it's up to you guys. I can do this, on order. Trying to think of a fancy word for that, I can't. I can do this as we've done in the past, which is, hey, Micah, sit. I know, but don't disturb my class. Go sit.
You're handing things out.
I'm talking still. Right?
I'm not speaking.
We can do this as we did before, which is we go over every single section as a class. I do a little bit of talking, right? I do some explanation. We do 1 or 2. Or we can do this literally like all by yourself. It's up to you guys. All right. Some of this stuff, and if we do it all by ourselves, I'm still available for like, hey, how do you do number 3 or something like that? I'll pull it up on the board. I'll write all the steps on the board type thing. But point being is that everyone studies a little bit differently. Everyone learns a little bit differently than others, but we got to do the work. All right. Enough of the speech. I think I went over my 2 minutes. All right, any online learners? Bree, you up?
Yes.
All right. Can you see the document?
Yeah.
I sent you the thing you just asked me a couple minutes ago. And I also sent it to your mom on Monday, I believe.
I meant the bell schedule.
Oh, the
Sorry.
bell schedule. I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah, I'll
okay.
send that to you right now. And then Bree, all we're going to do is we're going to sit here. I'm going to let the video run in case anytime during the class somebody says, I don't know how to do this number. I will do it on the board so you can see as well too. Or if you have any questions, you can ask those as well. Let me find the bell schedule. Bell. Upper school bell schedule, 2020, 2021. It is Friday. Number 4. Click. Teams. Attach. Upload from my computer. Gesundheit. For those of you taking German next year, Gesundheit means? Does it mean bless you? Gesund or height, H-E-I-T is how you say, or I say gesund, it just means health. So when a German says Gesundheit, it just means be healthy. Obviously.
Oh, that's why, because that's 16. Sorry, me, but give it in.
All right, Brie, I sent it to you.
If I were to accidentally shoot a gun.
Can we do number 2?
Let us do number 2. So let's see what we got here. It says solve for x, and we have, it appears that it says what appears to be tangent are tangent. So we have that one theorem. I can't tell you the number off the top of my head, but it says that if you have 2 tangents that both intersect, so they intersect right here where I just circled in red, that this tangent is equal to this tangent. So in other words, all they're asking you to do is set that equal to that and solve. Now that's only for tangents, not for secants. But if that's true, then we simply set one of those tangents, 3x minus 5, equal to the other one, 2x plus 6. And then we solve that. We got x's on both sides, so we move the x's to one side. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. If I subtract 2x from both sides, I get x minus 5 is equal to 6. Add 5 to both sides equals pain and suffering, or in other words, the number 11.
Okay.
Click the answer. Yes, it is 11.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Say again? You get so distracted, Matt. When do you play video games, right? How do you concentrate on video games? I've never seen a kid that is distracted in class. If I ever have them play a video, oh, by the way, myself and a 7th grader built a video game machine last week. So we play video games every day after school.
Is that thing up there?
That's just the monitor. But the computer is the size of a,
Raspberry. Huh?
yeah. Any game from Xbox, the first Xbox that came out, and the PlayStation 1, all down to everything. I mean, I've got thousands of games.
Oh, yeah. Can you run The Witcher on best quality graphics on it?
No,
Didn't think so.
it's a Raspberry Pi.
I have one of those.
There's lots of things you can do with a Raspberry Pi. One of the things is make a game machine out of it. Chris, what's up? Okay, I thought you were.
I just don't have a monitor because my brother broke all of them.
You know, all of your stories all have the same ending.
Yeah,
My brother,
it's crazy, right?
how many older brothers do you have?
One,
Just one. He seems like a handful.
he is.
What grade is he in now?
He's technically out of school, but he took his GED.
He did. That's right. You told me that. What's he going to try to do besides living in your parents' basement? Does he have plans, goals, or anything? He should go in the military then. It'll square him away.
Straight up being a 11B.
Yeah.
Straight up 11B.
All it'll take is 2 years, and he'll either like it or he'll straighten his life out, and he'll like, okay, I better do something.
Oh no, he won't do anything. There's all he likes to do is work on cars and play video
But
games.
why doesn't he go to mechanic school?
I think that's his plan, but I don't know. I don't talk to him.
He's my brother. I don't know.
He
We
just
don't.
goes in, breaks your stuff.
I gotta say, when I was your age too, I never talked to my sisters either.
They're icky.
Well, I thought so at the time, but
Yeah, cooties.
no, there's plenty of schools for, you know, you want to be a mechanic or something like that.
Yeah.
You could do crazy cool things. Like if he likes cars, he could work on like a race car team, you know?
He also likes editing videos, so
I like that to be.
There are more people that like that sort of thing than want to be mechanics.
Mr. C,
Yes.
can we do number 5?
Let us do number 5.
All you do is square 8 and 6, and like these kind of like the Pythagorean Theorem.
All right. So this says determine if AB and its tangent AB is or I should say, if AB is a tangent. If AB is a tangent, we have that one theorem that says if it is a tangent, then this has to be a right angle. Therefore, we get a right triangle. So we're not saying it necessarily is a right triangle, but if it is a tangent, if AB is a tangent, then it will form a 90-degree angle with the radius or diameter. Therefore, it will make it. So how do we figure out if it is a tangent? We simply see if the Pythagorean theorem works. If the Pythagorean theorem works, and by working, I just mean will the left side equal the right side? Tell me the Pythagorean theorem. A
squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Okay. And c squared is always which side?
The one across from the right angle.
Right angle. So if this is, we don't know yet, if it is a right angle, then 10 must be the c value. So all we're going to do is throw in the values and see if it makes this equation true. If it makes it true, then it's a tangent. If it makes it false, it's not a tangent. It doesn't matter which one is A and B, but it does matter which one's 10. So if I write 8 squared, I'm just choosing that as my A, plus the other side is 6 squared, we got to see if that actually equals 10 squared. 8 squared is 64, 6 squared is 36, and 10 squared is 100. And it turns out that 64 plus 36 is 100. So we can conclude that it is a tangent. So this is a yes or no question. So it is yes. If it was no, for instance, if this was instead of being a 10, it was an 11. Over here, instead of getting 100, we would have gotten 121. So you would have gotten 64 plus 36. Well, that doesn't equal 121. So therefore, if that value was an 11, it's not, it's a 10, then we would say it is not a tangent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to see in the back it says tangent or not tangent. It's just yes or no.
I probably will ask you how to do one of every little section.
That's fine. We got the whole class period.
Okay, thank you.
What about number 6? Let's take a look at number 6. So, Wes, if it is a right triangle, where's the right angle? It would be. So if it is, now we just got to see what's 12 squared and 8 squared. And 64 and 144? 208, is that 20 squared? Yeah, not a tangent. What? No way.
Yeah, because it is tangent.
Oh, I fell for the trick. I fell for the trick that some of you on the quiz. Yeah, it's not 8, it's 16. Oh, got me too. Darn it. Did it get you too or no? You got it first? Okay. And it got all of us. What do you know? Oh, you just didn't do it? So, okay. I'm just not going to die, right? You know, I'm that lazy.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy even to go to my own funeral.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to pick up the remote and play video games. I have to play with my mom.
I can almost believe it. I still wonder how you live, because at some point you have to be motivated enough to grab a fork and spoon and put food in your mouth. And I know
Oh, I'm motivated.
I know from watching you in 7th grade and 8th grade is that no, I had you as 8th grade, right? Did I have you 7th grader? I know as an 8th grade, you and who was that other kid? Tyler sometimes wouldn't even eat your lunch. And it would be the end of class period, and I'd say, Matt, did you eat your lunch? You're like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I literally just.
Yeah. 10?
20.
20. All right, so 20 says, find the measures. Come here, you. Find the measure of the arc or central angle indicated. Assume that the lines that appear to be diameters are diameters. So it's asking us to find the measure of major arc IFH. So remember, IFH, if I go around this counterclockwise, I go to H first instead of F. I need to go I, then F. So if I go from I and I try to go to F, I go past H. I can't do that. It's got to go I, then to F, then to H. Okay. All right. Well, there's still some unknown there. We know that this one's 40, therefore it's a central angle. That would be 40. We know that FI is a diameter, so that's 180 degrees. So this part right here would be 140. So it's 140 plus 40 is 80. We already got this piece 90. I just need this piece right here. Oh, vertical angles. If that's 40, then that's 40. That's a lot of work for one problem. You did this all in your head? So what's the answer?
Add it all up.
What's 40 and 40? Plus 140. 200, 220, and 220 and 91. 321.
Or you just add
311. What did I do wrong?
now you or you just
I was adding 91. I just added 91 incorrectly.
or do you just add 91 and 40, subtract it from 180?
Oh, I like that way. Yeah.
HI
And then add another 180 to it. Yeah, that'll work.
subtract
Technically, that's still the same amount of work. Yeah, it's 11, not 20. I still wrote another 2. Boy, I just really want to make that mistake. 311. There we go. Danny, you haven't said anything. We're okay? Nice. Connor? Well, ask questions if you need help. Well, so here's the start. You're talking about this one, right? Oh, number 20. Okay, number 20. Wait, I am on number 20. So, okay. So I'm going to start off by, if this is 91 right here, then the arc's got to, because it's a central angle, then the arc's got to be, if the angle is 91 and it's a central angle, then the arc is 91. Okay. If the arc here is 40, then the angle's got to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm looking at FI. Do you see FI? FI is what shape is it? It's diameter. Diameter has 180 degrees. So if JI is 40, then JF would be 140. It's 140 and 40 is 180. Okay. You see this 40? Vertical to that would be this one. And this is where I'm getting that 220 from. So what's 140 plus 40 plus 40? That's 220. And then add that to 91, 311. And we got 2 days of it. So Matt, that's why I will literally cry if you do not get a B or higher on this test. Oh, what did you get on the quiz? A B, right? Yeah, so you should get a 87 or higher on this test. Hey, look at 18.4. 18.4 is a radius. The theorem says that if this is a right angle, then this is 14.5.
Yeah.
I judge your chemistry test by how many times Mrs. Newbern sighs while she's grading it.
How many times does she side grading mine?
She also drops her shoulder. She'll go, and then I laugh and I say, all right, whose test is it? And then she'll go, Chandler. No, she doesn't say that.
I mean, probably at some point.
I don't remember her like on your, but a couple of you, I do remember her.
You know, I remember
literally like a 25%.
That's not a badge of honor, Matt.
It is a bad one.
I remember once Mrs. Newberg, she was like, "Hey, Dave will flip out once he sees it when he got a D plus."
Well, that's good, Danny.
We did get a B. Like dying over here.
Danny got it, bro. I got a C on that test.
Dude, I did terrible on that one.
No, at least I passed. That's
Oh,
fine.
Was that plant test?
Oh, the one I passed? Yeah, the one I like.
Yeah, remember that plant test?
Maybe it's because we only need to study the stuff and like you sat down and like you were like, no. It's mine. You went and studied for like 2 days in study hall.
For 25, it's the 24 that I am.
And Danny, you like
It is. So on this particular, now that we figured this out, if it's in the middle, it's the diameter. If it's off to the side, it's a radius.
Oh.
Matt, now you're back to not working.
I can't focus.
Before I start calling you Schmiegel,
I literally can't
Schmiegel,
focus.
not Schmiegel, Smeagol.
Schmiegel.
There is no sh in it. It's just Smeagol.
It's just Smeagol.
German pronunciation. I don't know.
You should say Schmiegel.
There's no SH, it's just
No,
SM.
it's just Smeagol.
Smeagol,
You should
okay.
say Schmiegel just to be
Now that I know that it bothers Chris, I'll say Schmiegel.
It'll make me rage. You don't want me to rage.
Okay, what is the
There was one
game,
time I
like,
broke my keyboard and monitor.
How do you
all
do number 9?
Number 9?
Got my keyboard and slammed it into my monitor.
streamers every time they
This one?
I have a wife.
Bree? This one?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it says name the arc. So the answer is going to be a name. It says the major arc for angle 2. So angle 2 is just right here. So UV would be the minor arc. So the major arc would be the one that complements that one. It would be that one.
Oh, that's why I was confused. Okay.
So you have two options here of how you name it. You could say UTV or UWV or VWU or VTU. I don't know how they named it, but they used 3 of those. Remember, major arcs get 3 letters. So how did they name it? They named it UWV. So I would still accept UTV, but the letters U and V have to be on the ends.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, Matt, get some work done. Well, no, more work. More than more.
I've done 4 problems.
4 problems? I'm on problem 34, my dude.
I've done 4
35,
whole problems.
but I haven't done half of them. So.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I haven't changed
Yeah.
since second grade in that.
Matt, I've done 4 problems.
Matt, seriously, get some work done. Like, stop looking at me, grab your pencil and get some work done.
Oh.
Alright, my pencil. I grabbed my pencil and tripped up. And
If you wind up being a doctor or a dentist, and 20 years from now, I walk into the dentist or the doctor's office and I see you there, I'm going to run.
I accidentally draw my.
Because I'm going to be like, this is the guy that's going to operate on me. He's going to be like, oh, where did my scalpel go? It's in his belly. Every year you see stories about doctors leaving stuff in people's bodies. And
Really? Yep. You know, a doctor once accidentally punctured my aunt's lung.
it can happen, right?
Is this your artery?
Is this your artery?
When you go during surgery, yo, you know what one goes, I kind of forgot.
They even have a name for it. It's called retained surgical instruments.
You get to keep the instrument after you touch your body.
Well, when you go through a metal detector and it goes off,
Yeah, she's like, you get an X-ray. Is that a scalpel? Oh, I gotta tell you about that.
during the course of surgery,
It looks like you circled images.
You know, my cousin, he once went through a metal detector. The sensor beeped when he put his left arm through. So when they searched it, like what they found was that apparently there was a scrap of tinfoil that got caught underneath his hoodie, and that's what was setting up the metal detector. Because I mean, they were searching it, but they're like, we're finding nothing. You know, it's like, do you have like metal body parts or something? He's like, no. And so then eventually, like he's just kind of like, you know, he's just scratching it. So I was gonna feel something. He pulls out a piece of tinfoil and he's like,
that'll work. That will happen.
Yeah, that's what's on Big Mac.
Oh, my funny story. The first time I've ever gone on a plane and we ever went through TSA and all that, you know, I was worried because, you know, I've accidentally brought knives to places I shouldn't have. This one
I accidentally brought my gun to school. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, and so I'm like super worried. My sister, and my brother, like they're fine, you know. Like I get past, not a problem. They didn't even have to search my stuff. Both my sister and my father, they were highly suspicious of. They rummaged through all their stuff. They both got pat downs, and they're just totally. And I'm sitting here like.
Do you have any of your brothers and sisters, or is it just your
Just
one
my
sister?
sister and my dad right now. Maybe a stepsister, brother, and a bunch of others, but I don't know.
Hey, step bro.
Do you get to make that decision? You sound like you're making that
No, I
decision.
don't even know.
All right.
I might already have them. I might not. I don't.
he doesn't know if they even exist.
Trading people.
That's an existential question
Yeah,
right
no,
there.
I'm totally actually in a very weird predicament.
Rest high key. Keep your head up.
Matt,
Yeah.
do more than 4 problems. All right, now do double that, and I'll get off your case. Yes, that seems reasonable. Some people are on the 30s right now. And by the way, you're supposed to be asking for help if you need help.
Are you sure?
I wasn't going to touch that one, although I was thinking about it.
I wouldn't say it out loud, but I'm not gonna.
I sure was thinking it. That's always the best though when you're thinking of saying something but you're not sure, so someone else just comes in and says it for you.
Yo, the wingman.
Means the weekend. TF2.
If you're the TNT character, all you need to do is just do that.
Going on?
Football season's over.
Let's say a stupid voice line every now and
Spring training.
No, but the one thing I love about too is like they spent so much work developing these characters.
Can we do 29?
Sure can. 29. I'll just talk you through real quick.
I did 8 questions.
All right. So this is that one theorem that says that if you, why did that switch off? This is that one theorem that says that if you have a diameter or a radius that goes through a chord and it's perpendicular, then that the other side is the same. In other words, it bisects the chord. So that, yeah, it's just Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, I think the 19 so nice to do it. It was so cool.
All right, Bree, we're gonna stop right there. Have a great 3-day weekend. Is that a picture of you or somebody else?
It's a BTS member.
All right, I can't tell.